The San Luis Obispo Botanical Garden in El Chorro Regional Park brings a unique opportunity to the area, today and in years to come. Liz Scott Graham discussed with us the current garden and the master plan for the future.
Currently what the garden has is a preview garden that's 2 acres, and it is composed of mixed sections of Mediterranean plants with one whole section that's dedicated exclusively to South African plants. There's an amphitheater with a cover that makes a wonderful place to have little concerts or poetry readings, or we've even had weddings there. We have our Saturdays in the garden there. There's a greenhouse. One of the ways that we fund the garden is through plants that we propagate in the greenhouse, and we sell those at the garden festival. And there's the 150 acres that will be the eventual full garden. There's an amazing number and variety of people who volunteer at the garden. We have upwards of 450 people who volunteer over the course of a year, doing everything from working in the greenhouse, propagating plants, working in the gardens every Tuesday morning, where they weed and water and prune and dig and move and fix the irrigation systems. We have all kinds of levels and skills and interests. We find a lot of people who are retired don't want to do what they did when they worked. The master plan was written over a 2-year period, and the plan contains the big picture of what the garden will ultimately look like. It, of course, has 5 separate sections. Each section will be planted with the plants from that Mediterranean climate zone. There will be a huge area called the Gardens of Exploration, which will be where our research institute is, our education interpretive center, our gift shop, our cafe, and outside in that area there will be miniature, if you will, gardens of samples of the big gardens, and that's where all the interpretive exhibits, many interpretive exhibits will be there. And then we have a very important section which is totally unique to this garden. We have the Gardens of Economic Importance, which focus on the role of agriculture in terms of civilization and helping civilization evolve. This concept is really unique for botanical gardens around the world. Partly it's unique because we're starting with a clean palette. It's like a painter with a canvas that's just a big white canvas. Since there's so little already on this land, we get to paint the picture that we want. And most botanical gardens don't start that way. What's also unique is that the plants will be planted in the same way that they occur in their native habitats. This plan has been extremely well received. As a matter of fact, at the American Society of Landscape Architects, it was submitted in a competition nationwide, and it won first place in the nation for site analysis and design. So it's already an award-winning plan. One of the things that we need is a venue that people of all abilities and ages come to, and that all the garden paths will exceed American disability standards. You could easily spend 2 or 3 days in the garden when it's complete and still not have seen everything. So we see it as being a place that will bring additional business to restaurants and hotels. Gardening is the biggest hobby in the world in terms of gross dollars. Gardening is where people spend their money, and people want to see gardens and they want to learn about gardens and about plants. This will also be a huge cultural addition to San Luis Obispo, because this will provide a venue for all kinds of events. There will be all kinds of places in the garden where people can have weddings or family reunions or picnics, bring their guests. There will be an amphitheater in the center of the garden that will seat at least 500, possibly 1,000 people for concerts. It will bring a whole new dimension to the community. I see it playing a big role like the Mission Plaza used to play 30 years ago when it was first built, and there were festivals and fairs there all the time. This will provide a new place for those kinds of things.